Joyous time zones, my Sakonauts. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as the Witch of Tylwyth Teg, and welcome to the Monday Morning Witchy Hour. Today we're going to talk about elemental magic. If we haven't met before, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. It's very nice to meet you. And if you have been here before, like Kibby Rose, hi Kibby, then I welcome you back, and it's so lovely to see you guys. I'd like to start this morning with a grounding ritual to start your day. This starts near your domain. If you've not created a domain, you might want to sign up for my newsletter, which is linked below. And I don't really post to that newsletter, so you win either way. Sit with your hands in your lap and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment. And as you let it out completely through your mouth, let go of the tension from the night and the grogginess of the morning. Take another deep breath in, and as you breathe in, imagine you are breathing in pure love. As you breathe out, imagine you are breathing out forgiveness. Take a third deep breath in, and as you do so, imagine a light coming in at the top of your head. It enters at the top of your head and spreads down over your face, neck, and shoulders. This cleansing light now expands along your back, down your legs, and out through your feet. It is as if cleansing light is this constant flow of soothing energy entering from your head and passing out through the arches of your feet. You are just outside the door of your domain. The air is crisp and cool, the evergreens sway slightly in the breeze, and the ground has a large patch of moss at your feet. Step barefoot onto the moss. Feel how soft it is. Feel the solid ground underneath. That light coming into your head can now be translated into energy that you can send out your feet. Convert the light into roots and send the roots out the bottoms of your feet and deep into the earth, as deep as you can. The soil is fresh, easy to toil, easy to carve a path down. Feel how anchored you are, how close to the earth. Reach as far down as you can. The earth hugs your roots comfortably, no matter how sharp or curly, no matter how many times they split off. Slowly pull the roots back up the way they came. Your roots slither through the dark, the soil filling in its wake. Pull the roots back into your feet, convert it back to the light, and let the light filter through you and out the top of your head. Take one more deep breath in and begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we just did our morning grounding ritual. Next up, we do our tarot reading. I pull a card. Sometimes I pull 3, depending on the card that I pull. Let's shuffle this bad boy. Trust your intuition. I don't know if that's a message for me or a message for people that I am reading for. Okay. The Knight of Cups. Good old Galahad. I think it was. It's either Galahad or Lancelot. I can't remember who the romantic one is. You definitely need a reading. Well, let's do the general reading and then I'll do the cups. Charmer, seducer, lover. You may receive a romantic inquiry from a person of interest. The Knight of Cups is a very let me try that again. The Knight of Cups is very in tune with his intuition and not afraid to have a deep conversation. His emotions play a key part in his life and rule his decision making. The Knight of Cups prances in as a person, an event, or a part of yourself that will bring you to high spirits. Regardless of gender, there is a chemistry between the two of you that is simply undeniable. The Knight of Cups urges you to shine a light on your vision and encourages you to take the plunge. He wears his heart on his sleeve and openly expresses his adoration for you. He is a sign that whatever you choose to do, you will be emotionally supported in the process. You've got some serious game. Receive the love that is coming your way. Mm-hmm. Yep. Take that as you will. All right. Horoscope. There is a methodical rhyme and reason to this day. The moon enters Scorpio at 12:58 a.m. Eastern for the next 2 days, encouraging us to read between the lines and think carefully before coming to any conclusions. While here, Luna forms a harmonious trine to masterful Saturn in Pisces, ensuring we're connected to our work. Plus, a supportive lunar sextile to Mercury should make it easier for us to articulate whatever is on our minds. Progress can be achieved without stress. Hi, RC. It is very interesting, especially regarding you. I think you can walk away with a little something from that reading. Hi, RC. I'm sorry I did the things last night and then bagged out and then didn't come back. It's fucking stupid of me. Stupid of me. My life is so in line with the universal energies. It's ridiculous. Yes, it is. Okay, our topic today. Our topic today is Elemental Magic, Chapter 4 of Magpie Training, Black Feathery Mystery School, Book 1. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. I'm glad you're catching your spelling, though. Magical allies. In Western culture, we have behavioral programming around transactional relationships. There is a tendency to have a user attitude as a result. We use stones, plants, products, and even people to achieve our ends because that is considered normal in our culture. Witchcraft, in my personal experience, this being Irene speaking, is more effective when your focus is on building co-creative relationships with spirits, powers, and other beings. The discipline of witchcraft suffers from this transactional philosophy. I closed the book by accident. There we go. I guess I should leave the bookmark in there just in case. We are beginning to change, but a lot of the older texts on correspondences reflect a user-based way of thinking. Yeah, silent revolt against my mother's English degree. Yeah. Yeah, I know. These texts encourage us to determine that crystals, herbs, elements, and timing needed for a particular piece of spell work. We are told to obtain those items without giving much thought to where they come from or how that might affect the magic. We're instructed to charge those items with our intent and then use them. Afterward, we are often encouraged to dispose of the spell or ritual remains by burying them somewhere without consideration for what that might mean for the surrounding flora and fauna. Hi, Jenny. Good to see you. We're talking about elemental magic and elemental magic. Shifting our focus toward relationship cultivation and developing spirit allies offers a middle road, a way to access correspondences that is healthier, responsible, and respectful. Spells are more effective when the entire team of spirits involved are willing participants as opposed to energetic hostages. Consent is not just good, but vital. I think that's a good point. Elements and elementals. If any class of being gets referenced more in witchcraft than elements, I can't think of it. Even more than the gods, the elements or elementals are powers we interact with most constantly and call on in almost every spell and ritual in some way. The elements we focus on in Blackfeather are elemental earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. The reason we are focusing on elementals is that all the components of any given spell are under the purview of one of the elements. For example, if you do not have a relationship with the herb rosemary, but you would like to incorporate it into a spell, you can reach that herb through the elemental earth or elemental fire. Both are associated with it. By cultivating a relationship with the elements, you'll be able to connect more easily and in co-creative way with your spell and ritual components. Think of it as having a mutual friend who can offer a useful introduction. Spells, rituals, and workings all balance somewhere between the elements. Some are entirely ruled by one element, but most incorporate more than one valence or directional pull. Understanding the way the elements function, the way they balance each other out, will help you shape your spells. They're also a useful framework to view many aspects of life, though, through. As we step further and further away from outdated and limited binary systems, cultivating a set of 5 polarities helps us describe, access, and relate to different energies. We can describe someone as having a fiery personality trait or watery personality traits as opposed to ascribing personality to gender stereotypes. There is an elemental meditation. How long is it? Oh, it's quite long. Are we in the mood for another meditation? Whoa. It is quite long. How do you guys feel about an elemental meditation? Or I can find another chapter. It basically runs you through an elemental meditation and then has you journal about it. People vary in terms of what they experience when they meditate or journey. We use the word visualize, but a better word might be imagine. Not everyone experiences journeys as visual imagining. If you find that you have problems seeing in your imagination, experiment with tapping into the other senses. For some people, the sense of touch or smell is easier to access. When I first began journeying, I had an awareness of what was around me, and a sense of touch was pretty accessible. But it took a while for visuals to become part of my journey experience. If you find that you have better access to awareness of what's around you, touch, scent, or sound, lean into those sensations rather than struggling with trying to make yourself or see something. Okay, boss has arrived. See you later. Later, Kibby. So what do you think, Jenny? Do you want to journey into elementals? It runs through all of the elements. Fire. And then air. And then water. And then earth. Not quite awake yet, so not capable of decision making. Okay. Let's see what the next chapter looks like. The witch's cupboard. The witch's cupboard. And maybe I should edit my and the witch's cupboard. I guess I should add a link to the book. Blackfeathermystery.com. I moved into a new place yesterday. Congratulations, darling. I don't know if it let me edit the title. Worst comes to worst, I can do it in post. Although Black Feather Mystery School focused primarily on co-creative relationship based magic, you know, there's a lot to be said for touching base with the elements when you when you make a new sanctum, right? So maybe not right now, but maybe later when you're a little more awake and you're feeling like actually making your abode into a sanctum. There are some items, practices, enchantments, and recipes that are really, really useful to have on hand. We don't always have time to go find a spirit ally and cultivate a relationship when things get scary. Sometimes the best solution is still black salt with a witch bottle. I plan on setting up my altar today or tomorrow. That sounds lovely. I think I would set up the altar first and then start doing your wards after the altar is set up. So you have kind of like a node to pull from when you're doing your magic. Yeah. Or you could have a friend do it who is familiar with setting up wards. But like if you're doing them yourself, then you know, like have the battery, have the little battery already set up. And Mabon is right around the corner. So, like, let's talk about Mabon a little bit. Also, black salt. I use I don't know. We'll talk about the cupboard maybe next week. Today we should talk about Mabon. Autumnal equinox. It is one of the 8 Wiccan sabbats celebrated each year. Mabon is a time to give thanks for plentiful harvest and to recognize the need to share the earth's fruits in the coming winter months. It is usually celebrated between September 21st and September 24th. Mabon is the second of the 3 pagan harvest festivals. The other 2 are Lammas or Lasugnath and Samhain. The name Mabon was coined by Aidan Kelly around 1970 as a reference to Mabon ap Madron, a character from Welsh mythology. Mabon ap Modron is a prominent figure from Welsh literature and mythology. He was the son of Modron and a member of Arthur's war band. Ap in Welsh names means son of. So a little bit of my SEA showing. However, the Southern Hemisphere already celebrated Mabon in March, when the Northern Hemisphere celebrated Ostara. Known as Pagan Thanksgiving, Mabon marks the autumnal. Yes, I do like that. However, I'm not going to handle that right now. Okay. When day and night are equal, making it a time of balance, equality, and harmony. In ancient times, Mabon was a celebration of the second harvest, as Lasugnath was the first, when farmers gathered hearty foods like gourds, pumpkins, grapes, and apples. Yum! Modern Mabon celebrations are a time to give thanks for the abundance of Mother Earth, both literally and spiritually. It's also a good time to reflect on the wheel of the year, recognizing your successes and letting go of things that did not serve you during the past 12 months. Modern pagans began celebrating Mabon as the last of the 8 sabbats in the 1970s, but its roots as a harvest festival go back to ancient times. Named after the Welsh hero Mabon ap Modron, which means son of mother. Yeah. Mabon is the second of the 3 harvest festivals that take place in the wheel of the year. Similar to Apollo, the figure of Mabon was depicted as a handsome youth with a lyre being a stringed instrument. As a baby, Mabon was said to have been held hostage as a baby in the underworld. As a baby. This could have used some editing, that's all. Similar to the story of Persephone and Demeter. Indeed, the Greek goddess Demeter is much more closely associated with the autumn harvest, as it was her grief at losing her daughter that turned the earth from lush abundance to barren cold. I have a million messages. Hold on. I do not have the permission. Okay. No worries. I did not catch Felicia's comment before we split up for the stream. right. As the wheel of the year comes to an end, Mabon is a good time to set intentions that involve decrease and reduction, such as ending bad relationships, unhealthy habits, or self-destructive beliefs. How to celebrate Mabon. One of the easiest and most fun, in my opinion, ways to celebrate Mabon is decorating your home for autumn. I like to bring in both fresh and dried flowers and gourds to place throughout my kitchen and other living spaces. I'm lucky to have my own cutting flowers and trees to collect acorns and pine cones from. If you don't have access to your own greenery, a visit to the local farmer's market or even a short walk in the woods can provide plenty of Mabon decorations for your home. For many families, Mabon falls right at the start of the school year, and it can be hard to plan a big celebration, especially if it falls during the midweek. It falls on a weekend this year, which is nice. I'll be spending it at a horror con with Heather Dewey Pettit. I don't know how witchy she is, but I would like to drink some cider or something in celebration. If that's the case with your family, know that there is nothing wrong with celebrating Mabon with a simple family meal at the end of a busy day. You can dress up your table with a bouquet of fresh flowers or some candles. Take turns saying what you are grateful for and what you hope to accomplish in the coming year. If you opt to celebrate Mabon by yourself, try finding a quiet space outside to meditate and journal before treating yourself to a nice meal. Mabon is a great time to release the baggage of the past year and set some new personal goals. More easy ways to celebrate Mabon. You can host a bonfire for friends and family, which is a thought. Except I'll be out of town. Decorate your porch or entryway with traditional autumn greenery. Write down all your blessings from the past year in a journal. Go apple picking. Have a picnic. Clean your house and get rid of stagnant or negative energy. Host a potluck Mabon dinner with your favorite people. And who needs another busy holiday stress over? A simple Mabon celebration you can do at bedtime is to light a candle, close your eyes, and breathe deeply for 5 minutes, giving thanks for all your blessings. I like to decorate for autumn too. I have a whole tote of things. That is amazing. So, yay, autumn. Autumn is coming. Cosmopolitan. Even non-Wiccans can celebrate Mabon. If you love all things autumn, leaf peeping, the fall foliage, picking apples, decking out your front stoop with gourds and corn stalks, then you might want to add another holiday to the calendar. Mabon, also known as Pagan Thanksgiving, is a harvest celebration that falls around the autumnal equinox on September 22nd to 23rd. well, 22nd to the 24th this year. Since the dawn of agriculture, cultures around the world marked the harvest season with ancient rituals of feasting and thanksgiving for the abundance of the earth. In contemporary paganism, some of those ancient harvest traditions are revived and reinterpreted by people who may identify as neo-pagans, Wiccans, Druids, hedonists, witches, animists, nature worshippers, or just plain old pagans. Mabon is one of the 8 Sabbats, contemporary pagan festivals that mark the changing of the seasons on the pagan calendar, known as the Wheel of the Year. The best known Sabbats are Yule, which commemorates the winter solstice, and Samhain, the late harvest festival associated with Halloween. Although lesser known, the fall equinox festival, Mabon, is a really powerful time, says Selena Fox, senior minister and high priestess of the Circle Sanctuary, a nature spirituality center in Wisconsin. I think most people would recognize a lot of the ancient fall equinox customs, but didn't realize where they had their origins. What is the autumnal equinox? Hi, Mint. How are you doing, darling? I know times have been hard, but know that I am there in solidarity. We're talking about Mabon today because it's just around the corner. It'll happen next weekend. This coming weekend. I need to talk to my husband about getting to the airport on Wednesday. I have another message. Okay. Oh, my back. So, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, which most of you do, the autumnal equinox is the date in late September when the number of daylight hours and darkness are almost exactly equal, 12 hours each. If you live in the Southern Hemisphere, that same September date is your spring equinox, also known as the vernal equinox. Modern astronomers are not the only ones who have carefully calculated and tracked the fall and spring equinoxes, as well as the summer and winter solstices, when the daylight hours are the longest and shortest. All around the world, there are ancient monuments and sacred sites that were built to attune to the equinox points and the solstice points, says Fox. Examples include the Pyramid of Kukulkan at the ancient Mayan site of Chichen Itza in Mexico. Every year on the fall and spring equinoxes, the interplay of light and shadow makes it look like a large serpent is descending the temple's stone steps. That sounds so cool. Fox has organized the Welcome Fall Festival at Circle Sanctuary since 1974, not long after paganism was reborn as a contemporary religious movement. The word Mabon as a term for the fall equinox is only about 55 years old. Mabon was a name borrowed from Welsh mythology and lore. There's a medieval Welsh text called the Mabinogion that includes some of the earliest tales of Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. The hero of the stories is a handsome young god named Mabon ap Modron, who was held hostage in the underworld as a baby. Okay, just making sure. When contemporary paganism was emerging in the 1960s, ooh, I know what to do. I'm trying to drag this window to my second monitor so I can keep track of comments. All right, where were we? When contemporary paganism was emerging in the 1960s and 70s, an academic and poet named Aidan Kelly was trying to create a vocabulary in this new/old religion. As Kelly wrote on Patheos, he went looking for Gaelic or Germanic names for a pagan calendar based on the solstices, equinoxes, and other dates that would become the 8 Sabbats. When he couldn't find a suitable Gaelic or Germanic name for the fall equinox, Kelly chose Mabon because the Welsh god's story has some elements in common with the Greek goddess Demeter, whose ancient cult was associated with the fall equinox. It was not an arbitrary choice, Kelly wrote. There seems to be a complex of myths associating the fall equinox with the rescue of a young person from death, datable back to about 1500 BCE. He referred to the biblical story of Abraham and Isaac, which is read at Rosh Hashanah, a Jewish holiday that also happens in late September, which just happened, like this past weekend. Whether you call it Mabon, fall equinox, or pagan Thanksgiving, Fox says that the name of the holiday isn't as important as the traditions and meaning behind it. I appreciate the fact that some long-standing harvest traditions are continuing to be kept alive by individuals and families and communities by whatever name. Ways to celebrate. On the pagan calendar, Mabon is the second of the 3 harvests. This first harvest, Lusognath, is observed in early August. Mabon celebrates the bounty of late September, and Samhain marks the final harvest of late October. As farmers and gardeners in the Northern Hemisphere know, late September is the height of the harvest season, when everything in the field is ripe and ready to pick. Corn, squash, tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, apples, pears, and grapes. One of Fox's favorite Mabon traditions is to fill a cornucopia with the bounty of the season. The Horn of Plenty, which is such an iconic fall decoration, has its roots among the ancient Greeks. The cornucopia could be the centerpiece for a potluck picnic with family and friends, where everyone brings a homemade dish featuring the fruits of the fall. If you want to make it more of a pagan Thanksgiving, ask everyone to reflect on the past year and share something they're thankful for. Fox even has a call and response Thanksgiving rite that you can perform as a group. You can also set aside time to meditate on the idea of balance, since the fall equinox is when the light and the dark are in balance. Whether you are pagan or not, this time of year can be really a good opportunity to take a look at what kind of balance to bring to our personal lives. Are we working too much? Are we procrastinating too much and not accomplishing enough? There's an opportunity at Mabon to evaluate and reset. When it rains, it pours. That is the balance of my life. Probably the simplest way to celebrate Mabon is by bringing the colors of fall into the home. Place a basket of fresh red and yellow apples on the kitchen table. Fashion a fall wreath out of autumn leaves and dried flowers. Or better yet, go out in nature itself. Take an early evening walk in the brisk fall air. Get lost in a corn maze. Oh, where is there a corn maze? I think in Luray there is like a hedge maze, but I don't know where there's a corn maze. Or on a clear night, soak in the glow of the harvest moon, the last full moon before the fall equinox. Oh man, that was a minute ago. As it is, we just came out of a new moon, which was a big self-care. Mercury became direct again, and everything went into Scorpio, and I'm surrounded by cornfields. Does that count? Yes. Yes, absolutely. I just swallowed a bunch of grounds. Before electricity, it was really helpful to have that extra illumination when you were bringing in the crops. I think Halloween is another full moon. I think. When is the next full moon? September 29th. It peaks at 6 in the morning Eastern. It is dubbed the harvest moon because it is the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox. September 29th. I don't advise stealing corn husks and stuff like that from random cornfields. It's probably not a good call. You might want to go to like a farmer's market or something like that, so that you actually get permission to do the thing. In October, I'm going to go apple picking, I think. You would never do that. Yeah, I know. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, that's the end of the article. 5 things you didn't know about the autumnal equinox. It is not a day-long thing. Although the autumnal equinox is observed, maybe even celebrated on the day, all day on September 22nd, it's really just a moment in time. To be exact, it's when the sun crosses the celestial equator, an imaginary line in the sky above Earth's equator. Cool. Sorry, I just got a message from my belly dance teacher. I need more coffee. After this time, oh, hold on. Normally, Earth orbits tilted on its axis by 23.5 degrees, but at this precise instant, its rotational axis is neither tilting toward nor away from the sun. That takes place, blah, blah, blah. After this time, the sun will start rising later and setting earlier for those in the northern hemisphere. Those living in the southern hemisphere will see the opposite. In fact, people in the southern hemisphere refer to September 22nd as the spring equinox, a signal that days will start getting longer. Day and night are not exactly equal. The word equinox comes from the Latin words equus, meaning equal, and nox, meaning night. But day and night are not exactly 12 hours each on the day of the equinox. Due to the refraction of the sunlight, the sun will appear to be above the horizon in some places when it's actually still below it. Also, those who live far from the equator will have slightly longer days because the sun takes longer to rise and set from their vantage point. On the days close to the equinox, the sun might be visible for between 12 hours and 6 minutes and 12 hours and 16 minutes, depending on the latitude. The equinox date can vary. Although the autumnal equinox is generally 22nd or 23rd, occasionally falls on the 21st or the 24th. That's because the calendar used in the West, the Gregorian calendar, defines a year as 365, or the length of time it takes the Earth to orbit the sun. In actuality, Earth takes about 365.25 days to go around the sun. This means that the September equinox will be 6 hours later than it was the year before. The inclusion of leap years sort of resets the date. You can see the exact dates of the autumnal spring equinox as summer and winter solstices through 2025 at this link. The equinoxes bring the northern lights. You know those beautiful displays of light in the night sky called the aurora borealis? Well, the equinox signals the start of the time when you can see them, generally continuing all the way through the spring equinox each March. Here's why. Auroras are caused by the interaction of solar winds with Earth's magnetic field. The solar winds are particles of plasma escaping from the sun and into space. Due to Earth's axial tilt, the solar wind from the sun is better able to reach the Earth's atmosphere through the geomagnetic field. These disturbances in Earth's magnetic field are therefore at their strongest and most likely in the spring and fall compared to summer and winter. The particles that slam into the Earth's magnetic field collide with atoms of oxygen, nitrogen, and other elements in the air. These particles eventually release photons of different wavelengths and therefore the different colors of aurora that you can see in the sky. It's cause for celebration. There are several celebrations associated with the fall equinox. For instance, there's the neo-pagan festival of Mabon, a harvest festival to celebrate the gathering of crops and the bounty of earth. In China and other Asian countries, they celebrate the Moon Festival, which is always held in mid-September around the time of the harvest moon. The harvest moon is the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox. That is cool. I didn't know that. And then it goes into the history. Which is not, it's kind of off topic for what we're doing. So, I should be wrapping up my stream anyway. So, Mabon, in about a week, I will be in Tampa, Florida for Necronomicon. Yay! Maybe we can talk about wards and setting up a sanctum. I have to work that day, but I plan on doing something. I think the nice meal and a bit of meditation at a candle is a really simple way to kind of like celebrate by yourself. I think Mebon is kind of a communal day. But I think you can celebrate it by yourself just fine. I think it's a great excuse to make your wards, frankly. I know I have it in my how to set up a heathen altar in your home. Hilarious. Altars. Sacred space. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I'm going to look in my... I know I should be wrapping up, but I'm going to look in my book of mirrors, and I think I have like a walkthrough for making a sanctum. So those are gods. Travel log. Symptoms. All right. Enchant mirrors to give self-esteem boost. Make a magic welcome charm that is a negative energy ward, like a mat, a wreath, a door hanger, whatever. Plant lavender by your door, which I don't think you have the option to do that, but you can hang some dried lavender by your door if you do such a thing. Line your windowsill with protection stones. Choose an outfit for rituals. Whatever. Anoint your fake flowers with oil for a dash of protection. Place crystals associated with abundance in the bottom of a mason jar. Cover with dirt. Plant small succulents. Sigils placed under your mattress. Hang herbal satchels at the four corners. A purple door is the door to open-mindedness in the home of a witch. And then in page 136 for wards in the house witch. And then I usually enlist a guardian. Not all spirits are created by you. make sure to interview it to make sure it fits the job of the guardian. Not all external or astral spirits are nice. Not all spirits are people. You know, are who they say they are. I don't know what I was saying there. Not all spiritual people you know are who they say they are. Yes. Also pay homage to a guardian that doesn't belong to you, to include those of cemeteries and graveyards. If doing work in places like that, then interview and pay homage to the resident guardian. I recommend doing this for each sanctum that you enter. I have a glass front door with no designs on it. Yeah. So also we can talk privately about what kind of wards or protections or anything like that that you might want to set up for your sanctum. And it could be your whole apartment. My sanctum is in my bedroom, but I'm kind of slowly spreading it throughout the house. If you like this video at any point, then hit the like button. And if you would like to see the other topics I address, hit subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when I go live. And if you are interested in supporting me, I do have a Ko-Fi, which is linked in the description, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Tomorrow sounds great. Do your things. I will catch you guys